Hey everyone, welcome to the Knit Next to You podcast. I want to sit with you and go through all of my recent knits. I want to share my honest feedbacks, my constructive criticism or my critiques, what I will redo, do better. If this is something you're open to listening, being a part of, stay right here and we will dive in together. Okay, I just recently finished these 3 beanies, and the thought process of going into knitting a beanie is because I just completed my cinema sweater, and because it took me a long time, I started it in December and recently finished, I believe in March, early March. So I wanted something a little bit smaller, something that I can knit up fairly quickly. I wanted to experience different yarns. I wanted to design my own beanie. In fact, one of my goals for this particular year is to design my own beanie. And right now, I think I've designed 2. I do have an idea, which is a spin-off of another beanie that I've knitted, so I wanted to share my thoughts, be transparent with you, so that we can learn and grow together, really, because that's my goal here at the podcast, Knit Next to You, is for me to share my experiences, my struggles with some of these knitting techniques and styles, just so that we can learn and grow together. I am the youngest of 4 children in my family, and I have seen a lot of things happen in my family, and you either learn by experience or you learn from other people's mistakes, and not necessarily only in my family, in the people around us. We see what happens when people make certain decisions, and so we stray away from those decisions. So I'm hoping that I provide some feedback for you. My heart's desire is to become a knitwear designer. So the more I knit, the more I learn, the more I grow, and then the more information I have to provide for you guys that are joining me in this journey. Okay, so the first beanie I wanted to go over, critique, share the things that I love, share the things that I don't love, and I'll share that with you. The first beanie I have is the Rebel Soul beanie from Katova Kika or Veronica Lindbergh. She is on Instagram and YouTube, one of my favorite knitwear designers. In fact, the cinema sweater that I finished earlier this year, last month, she's the designer of it too, and she's just amazing. Okay, so this Rebel Soul beanie is done in the oatmeal color of Barocco yarn. It is 100% wool. The beanie pattern calls for DK, so I did a gauge converter, which I also want to plug in Ashley Lillis. If you don't know her, find her, follow her. I am loving all of the content that she produces. She has master classes, but she has a converter spreadsheet or gauge converter spreadsheet, which I love so much. But there is a calculator on her website that you can use a certain number of times, but then of course up to a limit, you should definitely get her spreadsheet. So I used her gauge converter for worsted weight because it is a DK weight pattern. I loved the conversion. I love the stitch pattern. First, I love the color of this beanie. I don't know what it is. I guess it depends on what light I'm under, whether it's fluorescent or maybe a little bit more of a warm color. But this oatmeal color, sometimes even, again, depending on what light I'm under, it has a lavender purple shadow to it. I don't know. But the color is just so beautiful. It's a gray, there's a bit of a tan in it. I wish, okay, so knitting the cinema sweater, I have realized that mohair and 100% wool, which this is a little itchy on my neck, on my skin. So I realized that I love knitting with wool, but wool doesn't agree with me, so I've been exploring other synthetic yarns. But for right now, I wanted to use this color. It was absolutely beautiful. The best choice I've ever made, because after blocking the beanie, the stitches are just more defined. They're just so crisp. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful yarn that I selected for the Rebel Soul beanie. So compared to Veronica Lindbergh's stitches, I am a bit of a tighter knitter. She's a loose knitter, which she have said once or twice on her vlogs is that she was a tight knitter, but I'm like, okay, so if you're a tighter knitter, I am a tight knitter. Because I thought I was a loose knitter, but apparently not. Anyway, because I was a loose knitter, I am a loose knitter, I went up a couple needle sizes. So I went up 2 needle sizes from her smaller size. So I used size US 7 for the 1x1 rib. And then in her pattern, it calls to go up 2 needle sizes, or maybe even 1 in her pattern. But again, because I'm a loose knitter, I went up 1 size. And the one thing I don't love about it is that it balloons too much. It is blocked. I did not stretch it. I didn't alter the size of it. But because it is wool and natural fibers tend to grow once it's bathed, for the lack of better words. So with that being said, the top part of the beanie bloomed a little bit. So you may have seen on Instagram, I posted the picture and I was recently finished with it. I haven't blocked it yet and it looks a little balloon. If you go in and you critique it, you would see that it is a little bit ballooned on the top. I am not crazy about it. So I'm actually thinking of frogging it all the way to the ribbed part and redoing it, maybe even on a size 7. Granted, I will have some yarn left over, which is okay, but that's that. I love the 3 brimmed portion of the beanie. It is very warm. I just love it. I love it so much. I am gonna try it on for you. My hair might be a little messy, but bear with me. I love the way it sits. I love how it covers my ears. It is a little bubbled, as you see here, so it's a little uncomfortable for me. I probably wouldn't wear it until I fix it. But I love the pattern. 10 out of 10, recommend. It's such a beautiful pattern. I love that there is a purl stitching here, so when you do the 1x1 rib, you get to a certain point and she asks you to knit 1 row, and knitting that 1 row causes the purl bumps when you fold it. But it's just absolutely beautiful. And I don't like this folding part here, but again, I think I'm gonna frog it, or what do they call it, tink it back to where the 1x1 rib ended, and then just probably even do a shorter crown there. But otherwise, I love it. I could even do a pom-pom with the extra with the extra yarn. Anyways, yes, 10 for 10 for this. Just be careful with if you go to a different weight of yarn, if you use different size needles, just take your time going through it and measuring everything out. I think now that I'm sharing this with you, I probably didn't calculate the gauge difference and the weight difference. And I think that made obviously a huge difference. So if you use a different needle, different swatch, different weight of yarn and needles, do factor that in when you consider knitting with a different yarn and different needle sizes than the pattern calls for. So that's learning for me. So that is this one. It is the Rebel Soul beanie. Again, absolutely recommend. Now the next two beanies that I wanted to share with you, I have knitted myself off of the things that I've learned from knitting the beanies that I have in the past and just the yarn. So I wanted to share with you my first draft of the Dancing Denisa beanie. This is the first attempt of my pattern, my first beanie pattern. It is like a double moss stitch, but it just, I've called it Dancing Denisa because I love how the stitches dance around the pattern, beanie pattern. I love the way the stitches dance around the beanie in this particular pattern. I did use a knit two together for the crown, which I love very much. It is lightweight, but it is warm. For this particular yarn, I use Patons Classic Wool, 100% wool, worsted weight. This particular worsted weight, I feel like it's a bit thinner. Let me see if I can find the tail. I feel like it's a bit thinner than the other worsted weights I've used in the past. So I kind of needed to change the needle size for the next beanie. So this is my first draft. I used the US 8 for this worsted weight. I looked at the yarn label, and the yarn label said a size US 8 for this particular yarn, so I used it. I wasn't crazy with how holy the stitches were, so I went down a needle size to US 7, and I will share a little bit more about my progress on that for my Whips Wednesday video. So, love, love, love what I created. Love what I created. I started with a pearl hem, and then I went up with the double moss, and I've got the knit two together spiral crown here, which I love so much. I'm gonna try this on. Yeah, if my hair gets messy, enjoy it. What do you think? I absolutely love it. It fits so, it's not too tight. It fits snug. I love it. I think when things get a little bit cooler here in Florida, I'll be able to wear it a little bit more. A spin-off of this, I was thinking about knitting this particular pattern with the hole here because I have my hair in a bun often, so it'll just be nice to just leave my bun out and then put a cap or the beanie on. But anyway, I just love this so much. I hope it looks good. What do you think? Write below, write your comments below what you think about it. Any critiques, anything you see I can do different, I'm open to hear your thoughts. So this is the Dancing Denisa beanie. I am writing out the pattern in my Laines magazine journal. I posted it on Instagram. It is so beautiful. It is a cloth cover. Is it cloth cover? I don't know. Laines Publishing magazine. I got it from our local yarn store here called Necessities, but I've got my pattern written out. I've got my little drawing. It has the lines for all of the things that you need it for, and you have the space to draw it up. It's absolutely amazing. And you also have a beautiful gold bookmark. Such rich colors. Reminds me of like royalty. But this is from Laines Publishing magazine. I'll add the link below. If you love drawing, love knitwear designing, love just putting your ideas out. If you're not a designer yet and you aspire to be, I feel like this is just something worth investing in. So that's where I have my Dancing Denisa beanie pattern. So in there I have like pattern 1, pattern 2, because this is my first go around. I actually want it to be a little bit slouchy, so I have that as my pattern number 2 for this, and I might just publish both of them. Should I keep this on? No, because I'll have to try this one on. Okay. I haven't sewn in my ends yet. Okay. Last but not least, this is the super chunky acrylic wool. Lord, remind me what the name of it is. Loops and Threads, yay! Okay, so this is super chunky from Loops and Threads. I had it to start an intarsia sweater, but then for some reason I quickly lost interest, and then I returned the yarn I didn't use, and then I had the skeins that I used it for the gauge. So this is going to be called the Isis beanie. Isn't that such a beautiful name? The Isis beanie is going to be the super chunky, and it has the slip knit 2 together, and the knit 2 together as the crown stitching, and then it is a 1x1 ribbing with a beautiful indent right in the middle. I love what I created here. Honestly, I was just thinking of what kind of beanie would I like to knit, so I knitted this on a US 8, which I found it to be a little bit tough to kind of get through my stitches. So the US 8, I might go up to a 9 just because I had to kind of push through all of my stitches. So I think that's what I would do on the second round, and I would also make it a little bit bigger, longer, but it's absolutely beautiful. Another thing that I will do, I think I will calculate a little bit more precisely, because I did all of this off the top of my head, but what I will do after drawing it in my beautiful journal, I will carefully calculate how I decrease. I didn't want the cinching, as you see here. It's just because when you have a cinch, I believe that's what it's called. When you have a cinch, you're a cinch with, I forget what it's called. But with the gathering, if you could see the material gathering there, it's because there are too many stitches in that particular row that you are binding off together. So let's say if you have a hole this big and you cinch it, you still have all of this fabric kind of gathering into a hole, which then you would put the yarn through, and then you would sew the excess yarn in the back side here, if you can see that here. So I think I want to crown off a little bit smoother, a little bit more clean, not cinch so many. So my second round, I will do a bit of a cleaner crown, but I love this. This came out so pretty. I love pink. I love this soft rose gold blush pink. I don't know if you would say gold, but blush pink for this particular beanie. Gosh, I am so proud of the work, and I love it. It fits perfectly, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Well, there you have it. These are the beanies I knitted this past month, with its critiques, with the things that I would do better. I am experiencing different yarns. Unfortunately, 100% wool does bother my skin. I do have a bit of a sensitivity to it, so I'm exploring some synthetic yarns. My cinema sweater is 100% super washed wool, so it's not as itchy, but it's the fact that I have the mohair is what's making it a bit itchier on my skin. But I wear a long sleeve under it, and it's bearable. It's just fine. But 100% mohair. I'm sorry. I'm sad. I can't use you. Anyway, it's okay. I love that you were here with me all this time. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any ideas or any tips or content that you would be interested in me showing here, feel free to use the email knitnexttoyou@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I would love for you to be notified every time I'm here to share my time with you, or for you to share your time with me, because it goes both ways. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for all of your support, all of your love, and enjoy everything that you're knitting.